You take 16 points of lightning damage as this lightning bolt cracks from the sky and into the earth beside you. So that's 16 points of lightning damage.
Okay, 16.
God.
Okay,
Next,
I still have.
yeah.
I'm
Next up is
nowhere
Reginald.
near
There are
Nippy.
two and people on their backs flying towards you. They're very fast. It's gonna take them a little bit, but they're coming at you.
I have 6 HP left. Oh my god.
I have 5.
Are we just in like an open field? Is it like just grassland?
It's pretty much just rolling grasslands out there. There are trees sparsely scattered, but there are none like near the encampment. They've chopped them all down for wood.
I have a question. Taking a healing potion, is that action or bonus action?
For me, it's a bonus action.
Okay.
So you can use a bonus action to use a healing potion. So no, there are no trees in your vicinity that you can easily move to, Reginald, but
I think I have to.
grass.
I think I bought the potions.
Okay, I'm going to shoot at one of the two griffins then. Alright, no, you know what? I'm gonna aim for the rider.
Okay, you have disadvantage because he is dodging, but so I don't think it'll matter. But go ahead and make your attack roll.
Or shouldn't I?
Or actually, that's a natural one. So I think your gun jams.
Yep.
Oh boy.
That's alright, I got some arrows.
And you watch as black smoke starts to go out the funnel of your gun, and your bullet just kind of drops off, immediately losing velocity. Looking at your gun, you're like, fuck! Flying at you, and your gun's jammed.
I'm going to start running away.
Start running? Alright, you run
Well,
30
just
feet
in
away.
the direction I just ran from. I'm going to run back to where I was before last turn.
So
You
you're
are
now
away
on,
like
you're
Get
back.
away!
Yeah.
You were super
All right,
away.
we'll see how that turns out. The adventurers cutting through stuff once again. Looker is getting over. Looker is actually making his way over to you, and he's kind of within range to help a little bit. Turn. There's a guy engaged with you. The kind of beefy. He has a pretty ugly mug, kind of chubby. 5 o'clock shadow, unkempt hair, greasy hair, as a matter of fact. Gross. Smells pretty bad too. He knows how to use a scimitar, and he's all up in your grill. So what would you like to do? Moon Shadow.
Oh,
Calling
it's me?
in.
Okay. So I have a person in front of my face? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you do. He's the one that attacked you last round.
Okay.
All up in your grill.
Action, I'm taking 1 healing potion. That's
It's
how
a
much?
bonus action.
Yeah, okay.
That's 2d4 plus 2. Six points.
Okay. And as an action, I am going to use disengage and run with my action also run. I mean like movement run and then disengage run. Out 60 feet.
I mean,
You already used your bonus action, so you can use your action to disengage 30 feet away, or you could use your action to dash and get farther away so he can't catch up to you, but you do risk an opportunity attack. Can't double dash at the moment or double move at the moment because it's action to drink a potion.
Okay,
Or you
then
could
I'll
take the
drink-
dodge action.
And I'll just drink a potion and run away. Trying not to get hit.
So you're dashing?
Just yeah, dashing.
Is prone as well, so I mean he'll have disadvantage on his attack. He's prone.
Yeah, I will have advantage on attack, but I'm not attacking. Hell with them.
If you just want to dash.
I just wanna get away.
Okay, well, if you're, I need a confirmation. Are you dashing or are you disengaging?
I am dashing.
She said she's dashing.
Okay, sorry. So he's gonna make an attack roll against you. He has disadvantage because he's prone. First one is a 12. I mean, he misses either way. So he tries to swipe at you with the scimitar, but he completely misses. And you kind of hop over his blade and you dash away. Turn. Fee, it's your turn.
Yeah, I have. Now I have to
Yeah,
Got
go.
hit by a
gonna-
lightning bolt.
Instead of
Yeah,
three.
we're gonna a little bit and then tiny hut.
Any hut.
It
That does
takes a
take a
full
minute.
minute. That's like 10 rounds of combat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 10 rounds. Even without ritual casting it, it's a minute.
Okay, so can we get into? Is there any place around there that she can hide behind?
There are lots of tents. Yeah, lots of tents. What?
So we gonna try to hide behind a tent and then take a shot at
Yeah.
How many
If it
griffins
was
are
that
there in
easy,
this guy?
tiny cat, I
There are
pop
two
out,
of
you
them,
don't
and
see
they're
me.
flying towards
Ah.
Reginald. It seems they're a little out of your range. However,
Okay, so we will deal with the guys on the ground first. Then she gonna take a shot at one of them who's the nearest, like
Haha.
got prone.
I have disadvantage to hit a prone target, so you could just shoot at the guys with the crossbows.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna shoot at that guy then.
Let's
Okay.
see.
And go ahead and make your 18 hits.
Where is my chat?
Roll your damage.
Yeah.
4. All right. He doesn't really like that. He gets hurt a little bit. Anything for your bonus action?
We're gonna throw a bardic inspiration for Moon.
Alrighty.
And that's my turn.
Am I close to you? I think I'm way out of range for you.
You guys are within 60 feet of each other.
Okay.
I mean, you're within range for her to bardically inspire you. Next up is Dancer.
Well, I'm going to troll these bandits now. I'm going to misty step 30 feet away as a bonus action
Okay.
in the direction where is our Fee and Moon like in the same kind of direction, or are they on opposite directions?
Oh, they're forward. They're not as far away as they're not as far back as you are.
All right.
Forward direction. So I mean, you could like teleport a little to the left.
Yeah, I'll teleport a little bit to the left 30 feet, and then I will try to Eldritch Blast the Black Griffin again.
Okay. Make your attack rolls.
Nope.
Roll d20. So the first one actually does hit.
Okay. Cool.
The miss doesn't seem to come into play. However, the
force
5
damage.
misses. It does take 10 points of force damage. That one hurts more than the last one. It's not dead. It doesn't really look super beat up, but I mean, it's definitely taking the damage, and it doesn't really like it very much.
Alright, I'll take my movement action to just move like another 30 feet away from the bandits, but still in kind of the direction of Fee.
Okay. Next up are the bandits. Run up 30 feet towards you, Dancer, and they're gonna say "fuck it," and they pull out their crossbows, and they're gonna shoot at you with the crossbows because they can't stay within range of you.
They don't like being trolled.
15 on the first
Yeah, that
one,
hits.
and that's a 20 non-natural on the second one. So you take a total of 9 points of piercing damage as the
Alright.
crossbow bolts sort of synchronously sink into your hooker. So I don't want to be a downer, but my throat is feeling like it's on fire.
Better take self lozenge, make yourself a tea with honey, and go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
I'm not feeling too hot. I don't know if you guys would mind if we halted this until next week,
Yeah, sure.
because I know
Just get better.
I know
Well,
like,
I guess I would mind it, but we can do it. that's a mean cliffhanger, but we can definitely do it.
no, I'm sorry, but I just don't feel good.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry.
Hey, what are
Voice
the?
was-
Can I just ask a question? What are the slaves doing at this
Yay.
point? Are they still scattering?
They're running around, like
Our dungeon
knocking
master
shit
is
over
feeling bad.
and like pushing stuff around, harassing some
So-
of the straggling guards that are kind of around the encampment. They're not
I
really
get it.
fighting, but I mean they're like they're causing
Late
mayhem.
shadow.
There would be a lot more guards,
Nice one.
the other adventurers, if they weren't like causing all this havoc.
So they're
You
useless, I get
you
it.
got fried drinks. I didn't get
No,
the
They're
fried
not
drinks.
used-
they're
Yeah,
quite useful.
they're a
It looks
distraction, I
full.
guess.
We're preemptively.
Okay.
That's
So
Finishing
I
the
don't,
campaign.
as you guys know, I don't really usually make battle maps, but since I'm prolonging the stuff, I'll try to make a map. I'm not really good at it, but I'll try to make one for next week.
Don't worry, just get better. Yeah.
Sorry about
I think
this.
things are going quite well, guys.
I mean, I'm already half health, so
I'm less than half, so I would not say it's going better.
yeah. You're basically just you're the only one that's safe next to Fee, because I don't even think Fee got hit in this fight yet.
Yeah, she
Or
did. She
maybe
got a
I
lightning
missed-
blast.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with
I
the
have
lucky thing. Yeah.
6 I have 6 HP left, and I was thinking of casting a tiny hut because literally no spell or object or human can pass through it. But then it's gonna take me 10 turns, and I just really trying to debate to myself that I
Yeah,
should.
you're not going to last 10 turns of not engaging in combat, just realistically speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Realistically speaking, even if it was like one action to cast the hut and you go inside, you get yourself entrapped.
What?
Well, you're in the middle of the enemy camp, or we're engaging with enemies. They will just surround the hut and wait you out.
Yeah, but I mean, like they can't do anything unless they have something to.
Yeah, but
the
how are
magic.
you going to go through 90 people
Confused
that are surrounding your hut?
I think her main concern was just to not die.
I
don't
know,
think she was
I
thinking
know.
that far ahead.
But you should. My main concern was not to die either, but that's why I'm running away. That's why I took
Hopefully
a potion.
the music bot will actually work next week, so we can actually have some nice combat music and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll try, like I said, I'll try to make a suitable combat map. Every time I've ever tried to make a map for Roll20, like I'll make it and then I'll
Yeah.
import it into there and I'll try and fix it on the grid and then it just messes up and I and it's like I put like a lot of work into it for nothing because
So
I
what
end
are
up
you
not being able to.
using to draw a map?
I was using like Dungeon Painter Studio, which is a software that I own on
Well,
Steam,
If you
and I've
can,
tried other stuff.
if you can implement the grid and paint over it, I think that will help you.
Maybe. I could also just make it in Roll20, but good. It would just be like boxes and stuff. But I mean, that's probably better than nothing for you guys, I guess. Because I know in like these types of situations, a map would be preferred when there's like
I-
strategy
I
involved.
think there are other free software. My sister was using something. I can ask her and tell you what she was using to make her maps.
That'd be helpful.
Okay.
And I don't like it's not like a mine, but I mean with this type of stuff it's kind of required to have like a battle map in my opinion to some extent. Or I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it's
okay.
But yeah, I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Okay. See ya.
Yeah, see ya. Get better soon.
Bye.
Okay.
I got 18 arrows and at least 3 rounds before they get to me. I'll be fine.
Yeah. As long as you are fine. Yeah.
I'm running away.
I think we just regroup with the other adventurers. Let them soak some damage for us.
Yeah, that's true. I don't even know where they are.
He said they're getting closer to us each turn, so we could probably meet them.
Yeah, that could be something. And like I'm gonna try to focus down the griffins with you, so I'm just gonna try and survive, and maybe someone can soak some damage from me while I try to aim at them.
Yep, I think we should try to regroup with the other adventurers. Let them soak some damage. Well, not me. I'm going to keep shooting because I can't get to you before they get to me. But you know.
Yeah, you just keep on sniping them, and I'll try to snipe them as well. And we are all sniping. That's cool. Although I'm not sure if I can keep on sniping them, because if they keep on moving in your direction, they're gonna be out of my range very soon.
No, don't worry about those two. We'll focus on the boss. He's the guy that make him take some fall damage, kill his grip.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
And you're doing a good job at it. You hit him more than I did. Of course, I only shot at him once.
I just hope that I see a few more net 10s and not like, because Eldritch Blast is a very luck dependent damage spell. It can do 1 damage or it can do 10 damage, so the damage range of a 5th level Eldritch Blast is like between 0 and 20 damage, so
what was the specialty that you can take after 2nd level? I think you can take 2 more, up to level 5. What did you take? They were not invocations. What were they? I just don't remember the name for the werewolf special ability after 2nd level.
Oh yeah, there are Eldritch invocations. Yeah, I took Beast Speech, Mask of Many Faces, and Pact of the and Voice of the Chainmaster. In the future, I could replace them with like Eldritch Blast cantrips, but that's
there is one that actually gets your damage higher on, especially the Eldritch Blast. You didn't take that one?
No.
Bad.
No, not bad.
Just it is bad.
Just because I don't play like a combat focused character doesn't mean that it's bad.
Well, don't complain about your Eldritch invocations and stuff.
I haven't complained.
Yeah, you said you don't do damage.
No, I said that it's a very luck dependent damage spell.
Well, if you had that one, it will not be that much luck dependent because you have more damage, base damage. To put it that way.
That is true, but it has nothing to do with anything I said.
Hey, what was that German story you were gonna tell?
Oh yeah, good distraction.
Good distraction?
Well, basically, what people from other countries think of when they think about German, it's like basically the way Hitler spoke, because that's like the most famous German in history, even though he wasn't German. So
Hitler wasn't German? Is that what you're saying?
Hitler wasn't German. No, he was Austrian.
Okay.
Potato. What's the story?
Well, basically, it's pretty funny because when people try to learn German, they try to imitate the way Hitler spoke a lot of times. So they try to do like the very kind of voice, and that's really not how we talk. That was like even during that kind of time, it was like a very weird accent and a very weird way of speaking. So German is way less harsh than people think it is.
Yeah, I knew you were German. That's why I said that. I was just messing around before. I'm not actually racist towards Germans.
Don't worry, no, it's just the language one is a very, very common stereotype. And like most people actually think that we all talk like Hitler. Yeah, like that. I could do like the reverse too, like instead of saying like Flugzeug, it's more like Flugzeug. Or what's the next one?
Well, I think it depends how you stress on each syllable and stuff.
Well, that's just not how you talk. Like the way, like in that video, that would be like saying, for example, he's like the butterfly one. If we do it like the reverse way, it would be like Papillon, butterfly, Farfalla, Mariposa, and then Schmetterling. So that's like you can say anything, you can say any word in a harsh way, and yeah, that's just not how we sound like.
Well, there's kind of a stereotype with certain American accents, like even amongst other Americans, like anyone with a Southern accent, like other Americans just assume you're stupid.
Yeah,
just because of the stereotype.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. Like, but like the Southern like accent is more like people feel like it's more warm but dumb, and like the Oxford kind of accent is more like, oh, he's intelligent but cold. So that's a weird thing we humans do.
Yeah, well, that's like but like the opposite is true for British people with Americans. Like the average American just assumes that any British person is intelligent when they start speaking with a British accent, even though they're not. Well, any more than average person. But like if a British person says it, then Americans be like, "Oh, better take note of that." It's just a stereotype about the person that's extended to the accent.
Yeah. Yep, I'm not gonna tell you what other countries or people from other countries think about Bulgaria, like my country.
I can tell you exactly what most of Europe thinks of your country. Nothing.
Okay.
Because people don't really know anything about Bulgaria. Like the whole of Eastern Europe, outside of like Croatia and Greece and that kind of the holiday destination. Like for us West Europeans, everything that's east of maybe Poland, like Poland might be included, but everything that's like east of Poland is non-existent to us. That's like basically Russia. That's we think of that more as like a third world country, as like one third world country.
See?
Because like we basically don't know anything about the countries over there. Just like when people think about African countries, they think about Africa as a continent. So when we think about like Eastern European countries, we think of that as like a one big country that's just like poor and kind of Russianized.
Well, most Americans couldn't even point to Poland on a map, so I don't think I got much room to speak in this conversation.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't know. I couldn't point at Kentucky, for example, so I guess that's fair. Like, it's just like.
Tell me, do you know what KFC means? You know, the chain with the chicken wings and stuff?
Yeah, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yep, there was a video. There was a video on YouTube, like a journalist asking random American citizens, what can they tell where where KFC is located, like
Well,
which
yeah,
state it comes from.
there are many videos like that.
They
Even like
couldn't say.
even like videos where they ask like Americans, can you point at one single country on this globe or something and tell me what its name is? And they find like 10 people who don't know anything, but you still have to remember that it's cut that way. So they probably only take those that are like the bottom of the barrel. I don't think that the average American is that uneducated.
Well, I have two
That's
things to
true.
say about that. One is that you're right; those are curated to show the worst examples. But the second thing I have to say that is that there's unfortunately way too many examples of the worst, examples to pick from.
So you say it's rare, but it's not as rare as one would think it is.
I would say that Americans, on average, don't place as much stock in education as they should.
Yeah, especially geography, because like I can relate why you guys don't think about like geography, because why would you need to know anything about geography? Most people just stay in the US for their whole lives, and if they don't, they like visit Canada or Mexico for like a week, and maybe France or Paris, just because that's like
Yeah, if you're rich.
that's like the cultural thing to do, like visit France because France is cool or something. But yeah, like why would you guys need to know?
I heard a little bit of a sore spot in the way you said that. Like
Huh?
France is like cool or whatever.
Well, yeah, I don't think that most Americans that go to France actually have any idea about France or Paris. They just see the Eiffel Tower and think, oh, that's cool.
And
Well-
and they buy baguettes. That's the other thing we know about France.
Yep. Just France has more famous sites, and it's widely known than Germany. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, Germany doesn't have something like the Eiffel Tower. Like we have Berlin, but Berlin smells like piss all the time. And of course we have the Oktoberfest where everyone goes, and that's why
Yeah.
everyone thinks of Germany as the Oktoberfest.
You have a wall.
Like
what is
99% of other countries in the world think that Germany think of Germany as like the Oktoberfest and of Nazis. That's like the two things people know about Germany. Maybe
Yeah,
even
but
cars.
one is a lot
but
better
it's-
than the other.
Yeah. And like the North Germans are totally pissed that people think that, because that's like a Oktoberfest is a Bavarian thing, and the North Germans think that like it's just in Bavaria that it's like always like that. They have their own little stereotypes, and we Bavarians just we Bavarians just think, this is a thing that happens like once every year for like for like 2 weeks or something, and it totally doesn't represent Bavaria, at least not anymore.
Well-
Because now it's just about who can like
You might want to go to England. So when I was there, I was mocking them that they are a bunch of drunkards because instead of saying thanks or okay, they say cheers.
I'm not sure if they do that because of that.
Well, it came out of somewhere, and I think that's where it came from. Like,
It could have been
Generations
the
back.
opposite way. It could
I
have
don't
been the
think so.
opposite way, like they said like cheers as like a cheery, like to cheer someone on or something. I have no idea. I don't know where the word comes from, and maybe they derived from cheers to the cheers when you drink.
Well,
that
in
most
my
likely.
area, in my area of America, we've got moonshine festivals that happen all the time.
I
That
assume
sounds
that's
like the most
alcoholic
backwater
beverage?
shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, moonshine festivals. They're awesome.
Is that alcohol festival?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Moonshine
so.
is like a pure grain alcohol, and it's kind of illegal, but not as much anymore. Like you have to have a license to sell it, but I don't know how many people actually bother with.
Let me not start that you Americans are not Americans, you Europeans. You just forgot about.
That's like saying we're all Pangeans and we just forgot about it. That's not really.
No, not Pangeans. Africans, maybe.
Not
Nope.
Africans because humanity originated from Pangea, not from Africa.
No, Pangea was already broken up before humanity started.
It was broken up, but it wasn't. It was starting to break up. There were still a lot of land bridges, which made it so you could go to different kinds
All
of.
right, let's go down the rabbit hole. We're all actually from the ocean, and we forgot about it. Let's just keep going.
That's why I think this whole argument is bullshit.
It's not an argument. If you call yourself American, these are the Native Americans, I do agree, but the rest of the populations are
I
Europeans.
mean, the moment you're born there, you're American. I don't care either way. Like if the natives shouldn't have any extra say in this because just because they were there first doesn't mean that they were, or just because they were there before the British and the Spaniards and some Germans doesn't mean that
And French.
that they were the first people there.
Yeah, well, a German would say that, wouldn't he?
Well, I'll say it this way, they were the first people recorded in history to be there before everybody else.
I'm not sure if the natives were necessarily there before everybody. I mean, I think the South American tribes were actually there first.
No, they were all from the
migrated
same.
north.
They're
South
all from the
Americans
same
are
group of
not
people.
in the USA. I was talking about the United States, the Great American States.
The South Americans came from the same group of people that settled in North America, actually.
Oh, so it was the other way around. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, they all came in through Alaska. Technically, they were Asians first.
See?
But that's like
Everyone.
30,000 years ago,
wait.
so it wasn't.
You're saying they come through Alaska. Isn't Alaska north from Canada?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. They came
How
from the north.
they
and stayed
came
south.
from the southern continent, that's South America, through Alaska? Explain that, please.
They came like first of all Alaska was green once. So it was completely green, it wasn't cold, so people just went through Alaska from like the Russian area or something. And from the Russian area they just went through Alaska to North America, and some stayed in North America and some went further south.
Yeah, they all came from the north and went southward over the course of about 10,000 years. It's a very slow thing. And then 10,000 years later, Europeans showed up and killed them.
Sure.
Almost all of them. That was mostly from disease, though. The Europeans were nasty.
Yep.
I mean, shit happens. I don't see why
Literally.
yeah, I don't see why you guys take such like not self-pity but like guilt about that, because there's no like civilization in this on this world that hasn't ever genocided another like
Anyway.
country or tribe or whatever.
Ah,
Like even the Indians,
I'll be
they
back
weren't like a
later.
peaceful people that
Have to
just
check
lived
out
next to
an
each other and
arcade
ate from
with
trees and
launching.
such.
So.
They were basically Vikings. A lot of them were vicious raiders and such that raided other tribes as well. So I
Yeah.
don't see the big deal about it. Just because you guys were better than the natives doesn't mean that you should feel guilty about that.
Yeah.
If they had the guns, then they would have and the ships, then they would have probably went over to Europe and done the same thing. So,
Maybe.
Well, you know, a fun fact about that is that in the first like 10 years that Europeans started showing up, something like I read somewhere something like 85 to 90% of the native population died of disease.
yeah.
And we
That's
can
So we're
continue
talking
this
like
later.
millions of people died like before the
Nice
most of the
discussion.
Europeans even showed up. So by the time that the actual like conquering and killing came,
Bye.
most of the people are already dead. If
Yeah.
if they hadn't have died from disease first, we probably even with our guns couldn't have taken